Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Farah Abdul Qadir. So today the topic which I am going to teach is nucleotide. So as you all know, nucleotides are the building blocks of all nucleic acid. For example, if we construct any building, we need some bricks. So in the form of nucleic acid, nucleic acid act as a bricks for the nucleotides. So nucleic acid, for the construction of nucleic acid, we need nucleotide to construct it. So nucleotides have a distinctive structure. These are the structures. Components of nucleic acid is pentose sugar, nitrogenous base, phosphate group. Types of nucleic acid, there are two types of nucleic acid. First is RNA versus DNA. RNA is a single stranded structure, as you can see in the picture, whereas DNA is a double stranded structure. So DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It means that it has two stranded structure. That's why deoxyribonucleic acid is a thread like chain of nucleotide carrying the genetic instruction used in the growth, development, functioning and reproduction of all living organisms and many viruses. So it helps in the growth, development, functioning and reproduction. It helps our, for example, if we the generation to generation, our DNA transfer from the generation to generation. So deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, helps in the transfer of growth and development and functioning and reproduction of all living organisms and many viruses. So structure of DNA, it look like this. It is a double stranded structure in which we have hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon and phosphorus. The DNA segment that carries genetic information are called genes, but other DNA sequences have structural purposes or are involved in regulating the expression of genetic information. So some DNA act as a that carry genetic information. For example, we have some genes. For example, if we look like our parents, our eyes look like our parents, so it comes from our genetics. Our skin look like our parents, so it comes from the genes. So the DNA segments that carry genetic information are called genes, but other DNA sequences have structural purposes or are involved in regulating the expression of genetic information. So they have different functions of different DNAs. Other proteins such as histones are involved in the packaging of DNA or repairing the damage of DNA that causes mutation. So the proteins also act as involved in the packing the DNA and repairing the damage of DNA. If some damage occurs to DNA that causes mutation, so it helps in the reparation. So DNA present in nucleus control the vital activities of the cell. So it also help into control the activities of your cells. DNA control the synthesis of enzyme, thus indirectly control the whole function of cell. So it also helps you control the functions of all cells. The major function of DNA is to encode the sequence of amino acid residues in protein using the genetic code. Functions of DNA. The amount of DNA for a species is fixed as it depends upon the number of chromosomes. So it depends upon the number of your chromosome, the amount of DNA for a species. Every species have a specific numbers of DNA. The amount of DNA in germ cell is half as compared to somatic cells. DNA, being hereditary material, contains genetic information that passes from one generation to the other. So it also transfer your genetic information from one generation to the other. DNA in the cell is the long-term storage of information. It is often compared to blueprint since it contains the instruction to construct other components of the cell such as protein and RNA molecules. So next our nucleic acid is RNA. RNA is ribose nucleic acid is a single stranded structure, whereas DNA is a double stranded structure. So it is a combination of nitrogenous base, phosphate group and sugar. Ribose, there are three types of RNA. First is rRNA, means ribosomal RNA are the structural components of ribosome. The large complexes carry out the synthesis of protein. So it helps in the synthesis of making of protein, whereas second is messenger RNA. As you can see from the word messenger, it means that it transfers the information. Messenger means message. It means that it transfers the information. And nucleic acid that carries the information from one or a few genes to the ribosome, whereas the where the corresponding proteins can be synthesized. So it helps in the from passing the generation from one or few genes to the ribosome. So it gives the information. Whereas last one is transfer RNA. Transfer RNA are adapter molecules that faithfully translate the information in mRNA, means messenger RNA, into a specific sequence of amino acid. So it is the adapter molecules. Transfer RNA are adapter molecules that faithfully translate the information. So it help in the translating the information. For example, for example, if we touch anything, and it is very hot, so it translate all the informations into the into to our mind and tell us that it is very hot, and to our reflexes help us to take our hand from the that hot thing. So that's all about today's topic, which is nucleic acid. We have studied about nucleic acid today, nucleotide. So nucleotide are the building blocks of all nucleic acid. Means it act as a nucleotide act as a brick for the construction of any building. So nucleic acid is our building and nucleotides are our bricks. So it has a distinctive structure. It means it is a combination of nucleic acid is a combination of pentose sugar, nitrogenous base, and phosphate group. So type of nucleic acid, we have studied that there are two types of nucleic acid. One is RNA versus second is DNA. RNA is a single stranded structure and DNA is a double stranded structure. So DNA deoxyribonucleic acid is a thread-like chain of nucleotide carrying the genetic instruction, or it helps in the used in the growth, development, functioning, and reproduction of all non-living organisms. This is the structure of DNA, and then we go towards RNA. RNA is a single-stranded structure. It is a combination of we can see there is a two types of. First is DNA, and second one picture is RNA. So DNA is a double-stranded structure, and RNA is a single-stranded structure. So the function of RNA, we have studied three types of RNA: ribosomal, messenger, and transfer RNA. Ribosomal RNA helps in the synthesis of protein, whereas messenger RNA helps into transfer the information from one or few genes to the ribosome. Whereas transfer and RNA are adapter molecules that faithfully transfer the information. So it translates the information in mRNA into a specific sequence of amino acids. That's all about today's topic. If you have any problem, you can ask me, and thank you so much for listening my topic. I hope that you can understand. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.